Hello everyone. Today I will use the perspective of space and as a geographer to describe world building from the insights of the readings. So when we construct a world, we should ask why we should care about the space and which is my first sections and how we receive spatial information, which means about maps in the second sections. So according to the reading, I will put my statement first is that space as a field that undertakes existence is not about locations, movement, or geographic features. Space shapes events, history, and human perceptions. It is symbiotic with objects, time, and peoples. Space reflects the dominant states of the group in its environment. So based on that, three key aspects that interact with space from the body would be identified. Identity, perceptions, and behaviors. So the first idea is that a space of separations can make a differences in the identity of its users. For example, today's cities may have places that are not accessible to everyone. If we see the map of Berlin right here, that divided by external reasons, citizens would be different identity by their political ideologies. Also, if we see the Hilton areas of Warsaw, which is a district that only lives with poor people, the labors were being taken to those specific groups due to the power of divided cities. Sometimes people may argue that a separations area could provide corresponding rights to those groups rather than conduct the ideas of demographic equality in one areas. For instance, the LGBT or women-only zone. So in the world building, should we think about to have this group area to deliver a particular political context? Is there a difference between these settings in the notions of identity in hospitals, school, or prison spaces? The second idea is space intertwined with self-perceptions. According to this, the relations between the self and space overlaps and separate in continuous, unrepeated interrupt of floating and unfolding. In other words, our actions and feelings twisting and respond to the environment that we are engaged in. Those sense and feelings not only reply to the space, but also smell or even memories. The book from Beidao describes how the change of space disrupt the memory of Beijing. Physical space engage with human emotions by multiple perceptions, and no absolute theory can be isolated from the environment in which it is located. The third idea is conduct with technology is contemporary cities concept, the symbiosis of man and human. Today's people is highly cooperate with the city that we merge into bodies as whole, a hybrid of machines and organism. For example, the house air conditions, fridges, water systems, and bedroom where you live becomes a part of your body life cycles. But what happens as the human subject is more and more woven into the structure of the city? As a result, the intervention of machines to body would extend to decisions making and human thoughts. And also human behavior is now shaped indirectly through the constraining effects of technologies. The way we take showers or deal with waters, etc., were already being determined by modern space and technologies. It stands for the discourse power of the body in a speculative world. And what is the role of map play when we receive the spatial informations? The critical cartography tells us in three ways the map could determine spatial patterns. It also represents historical evolutions, and it shows perpetuate relations of powers. So below there's two maps. One is the intensity of using light energy in the world, and the other is the travel time as the distance between the large population cities. Even they share the same space, but the forms are totally different. Maps express our inner perception of things around us and the spatial patterns of the current times. Even though the most common map we see every day, the vector projections, it brings lots of bias of scales of the land that change our perspective towards the world. So next, when we see these two maps below is the first map that human ever found, which located in the Middle East and there's no street on the map. And even a century ago, land and countries were metaphor by the animals. Map becomes the social documents that needs to be understood in its historical context, which includes how it was made and used. And the third, which is the most important part, is that map actually could revolve the hidden form as the instrument of social and spatial powers, involving the integration of ideas of authority, ideologies, and control into comprehension of maps. Therefore, a lot of cartographies will make the content mapping aims to showing the real informations and cultures of that areas instead of the official bias and political purpose. As we can see, the examples of Kibera in Africa demonstrate how differences between the map from Google and content mapping of indigenous peoples. Finally, when constructing a world, we should pay attention to the intertwined and symbiotic relationship between self-awareness and space, and the way that particular environments indirectly shape human behaviors. When designing the map, it should reflect the discourse, historical context, and the current ideologies in the constructed world. And at the end, I want to introduce the brief backgrounds of our team of world building, which is the topic is the industrial health, the world order in the stories. So because of the virus world in 2080, the world lost surviving 2 million people trying to survive in the world's largest underground discharge channel in Tokyo. So the sewers becomes the last places for human existence. So how the spatial environments of sewers shape the social ecology different from that for the pure external environment, which will be the space and the group behaviors or space that interact with emotional cognitions and how the maps dominate their ideologies. And that's it. Thank you.